welcome the knights and masters of the Order of the Chivalry of the Outlands here assembled, and all chivalry from other lands who wish to attend. The crowd now calls Lord Godfrey von Zollern.
Comes before this courting company, Lord Godfrey von Zollern, Stag's Blood of the Outlands, Hammer of Alberon, Scorpion of Alberon, and Scorpion Sting of Alberon.
Sir Tancred.
Yes, sir.
Is this your squire?
Yes, it is, sir.
Well, I will have words with him this day.
Yes, sir.
So I think it is only right and proper that you will release him from your service before I do.
Yes, sire. Lord Godfrey, attend me. I will say some words to you, some things that were said to me on my day. First, everything that serves you as a strong squire no longer serves you. You start a new path. For ending of the squire path is the beginning of the new path. It never ends. It can be a burden that you must bear. And I feel that you have become strong. And as you pass this threshold, remember, the next person that you meet who's new will never have known Squire God. So I will now release you from my service.
Sir Tancred, along my difficult path towards chivalry, if I faltered, you lifted me up. If I tired, you spurred me on. And if I needed rest, you found me green pastures. Within our line, there's an ancient tradition that a squire upon release would gift his knight with something for the sacrifices that you made for me. I searched the earth and could find no gift worthy of that. So instead I give you this solemn vow that as long as my heart beats, chivalry lives on.
Huzzah! Proud Squire. Sire, this is a great man, and I release him. He has shown me great fealty. Ma'am, you represent everything that is noble in our world, and this man embodies it in his heart and will love you for it. Thank you. May I be released?
Lord Godfrey, in the beginning, no man was born of higher station than any other, and all men were descended from the same mother and father, and all was right in the world. But then envy and covetousness entered this world, and might triumphed over right. And so certain individuals were appointed as guardians and defenders of the weak and the humble. And these men were selected for their high moral character and their strength of arm. And I would have you stand among them. You have now undertaken vigil and heard the sage counsel of the peers and the populace of this kingdom. And I will have answer to this question. Will you accept the noble accolade of knighthood from our hands this day?
You still find me worth the sire.
We do. Bring forth the chain. This chain has passed from night to night throughout the ages of our kingdom. Let it now pass from night to night once more.
Sir Thomas, being a knight of this society, can you affirm that Lord Godfrey has grown in both prowess and the chivalric arts? Please.
the Renaissance Fair in Albuquerque, Alvarado, my part. A few years ago, we fought all morning and the day was hot. And the fighters were resting, taking their ease under a pavilion. We were hot, we were sweaty, we were fairly dirty from falling down all day. There were no people about, it was quiet. And then a woman comes to our tent with her little daughter. The little girl's dressed like a princess. And the woman comes up to us and says, "My daughter really wanted to see a knight today, and she wanted to see someone fight. I know you're not scheduled to do this now, but can you please fight for my daughter?" Godfrey and myself stood up. We went down to the list field. We bowed before the girl. We fought. 3 passes. In the end, I was bested by Sir Godfrey. And as I lay there on the ground, the young girl, perhaps 7, came to Godfrey, and he kneeled in front of her. She gave him her favor. The lady thanked us and left with her daughter, and we sat back down under the pavilion where we had been before. And Godfrey made some sort of, not disparaging, but some sort of remark like, well, you know, if there was one person, I guess we fought for one person, because he didn't know. He didn't know what he'd just done. He didn't know that in the future, years from now, there'll be some 20-something-year-old co-ed walking on some campus somewhere. Who's likely never heard of the SCA, has no memory of the SCA. Something about the smell of the grass, maybe, or the sound of a flag snapping in the air. And for just that instant, she won't know where it comes from or how she gets it. In her mind, she'll have a picture of a knight. And she will know that knights are in the world. She doesn't know how she knows this. But she knows that there are knights. They have red hair. They dress in green. Ma'am, sir, from personal, painful experience, I can attest to this man's prowess upon the field of combat. He is a knightly man in all ways, and I commend him in all ways to you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Master Raymond, as a master of the laurel, can you attest to this man's knowledge of the arts and sciences of our period?
Your Majesties, I have consulted with my fellow members of the Order of the Laurel. We find Godfrey has shown great joy in his victories on the field of battle, and also his teaching of others. For Godfrey is a man of many talents, and has used and shared them to the benefit of your kingdom. He has learned and meditated until the fire has burned within, and spoken with his tongue, deeds, and in his service to this realm. He has not been silent when still waters have risen to mighty waves around him, but always been mindful to keep evil from his tongue. He has refrained from anger and from wrath. There is a future for a man of peace in your kingdom.
Mistress Elisay, as a mistress of the Pelican, what can you say of Lord Godfrey's service to this kingdom?
Thank you, Your Majesties, for this opportunity to speak on this matter. Lord Godfrey von Zollern kneels before you now, not only skilled at martial arts, but also that of service. Among other acts of service, this man has tirelessly served both crown and coronet. I'm not sure I've never seen him without a black and gold or a green and gold tabard on him. As captain of the guard while Master Otto and I were seated, we wanted for nothing while in his care. He has a quiet, calm presence, was one step ahead of us when attending to our needs, and I can attest that I have had an entire conversation with him just with my eyes. I dare say others he have served have had that same experience. This humble man gets done what needs to get done, quietly and efficiently. It is the opinion of the Pelicans that I have consulted with that Lord Godfrey is well acquainted with service and humility, and that we would welcome him as a peer of this realm.
Baroness Matilda,
Your Majesty.
as a royal peer, what can you tell us of Lord Godfrey's service to the crown?
Your Royal Majesties, I have the honor of speaking as a Lady of the Rose and Royal Peer for Lord Godfrey. I know this man to be of noble character and one who always strives and will continue to strive to exhibit the virtues that he holds in his heart. He once accepted hospitality, my hospitality, and stayed at our manor. But being a squire and being far outranked by our other visitors, he did not get a private room, nor did he get a particularly comfortable bed. Yet he was a most gracious guest. He went beyond the courtesies that you would expect of a guest, and helped us to be better hosts to the multitude of people, mostly from Callantyre, who had taken over our house. I was so moved by his actions that the morning before he left, I wrote a letter of praise and sealed it and bade Lord Godfrey to take it to his knight, Sir Tancred, when he returned to Alberon. I've watched this man, and I see that he far outpaces his teachers with the ease that he shows in doing service. He inspires me to look ever deeper for ways to lighten the burden of others. Your Majesties, this is a good work you do this day, making this man a knight. He will only enhance your order of chivalry in ways both great and small.
Gentle peers, we thank you for your wise counsel. Bring forth lightning. Lord Godfrey, you have been deemed fit for this high estate by your peers, and you have demonstrated your willingness to accept the noble accolade of knighthood from our hands this day. Place your hands upon the blade. Do you now swear, by all that you hold sacred, true, and holy, that you will defend and protect the honor of the crown and kingdom of the Outlands?
I swear this day before God and all those assembled here, that as long as I draw breath, I shall do glory and uplift the Outlands. As long as there is strength in my arm, it will bear steel against the enemies of the stag.
Will you honor, defend, and protect all ladies and all those weaker than yourself? And will you be courteous and honor your peers of the chivalry, of the laurel, and of the pelican?
I will be the strong back for my brother and sister peers, always supporting their virtuous endeavors, always giving them their due courtesy. I will be the tower for those weak and humble. No blade shall cut them, no spear shall pierce them, as long as my heart beats.
Will you conduct yourself in all matters as befits a knight, drawing your sword only for just cause, and enshrining in your heart the noble virtues of knighthood, and to the benefit of your good name and the greater glory of the Outlands?
I shall endeavor to always fan the flames of chivalry and virtue, so that their heat and light may spread to the very ends of the earth.
Having sworn these solemn oaths, we, Walric,
And we, Cecilia,
rightful king and queen of the Outlands, do dub thee once for honor, twice for duty, and thrice for chivalry. Arise, Sir Godfrey von Zollern!
Lady Tanya, you have a belt for Sir Godfrey? Accept this belt of white, which shall symbolize the purity of your honor as a knight of the Order of Chivalry. Know that to be a knight is to exemplify to all people the courteous graces, and to aid all who turn to you in need. Wear it always with great pride. Wear it always with humility.
Wear this white belt as an outward symbol of what you have sworn to protect and what you hold most dear. May it serve to remind you of the vows that you have said this day. Bring forth the chain. Accept from our hands this chain, which has passed from night to night. For each night is a link in the honor of our kingdom. The chain is a symbol of a knight's fealty to the crown and kingdom. And know that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Never forget the burden that this chain carries. Sir Bohemond, you have spurs for Sir Godfrey.
I give him his grace.
Duke Archon will assist.
During the 100 Years' War, a band of French knights came upon a small group of dismounted English knights. They were led by Edward the Black Prince, the 16-year-old son of King Edward III. In haste, they sent a messenger to the king. When their wishes was known to him, he replied, "Is my son dead, wounded, or felled to earth?" The messenger replied, "No, sire, but he is outmatched and in need of aid." The king replied to the messenger, "Go back to those who sent you and say to them to send no more to me this day. For this day I suffer them for my son to win his spurs. And also say to them that it is my will that the honor of this day be his and the work thereof. Godfrey, you have won your spurs. It is the spurs that are the symbol of a knight, not sword, not horse, nor armor. When destitute, a poor knight would part with all else before his spurs. Our ancient forefathers took spurs into battle to bring their war horses to perform great deeds and valorous acts. Take these spurs to enshrine in your heart the high ideals of chivalry and courage. Wear these spurs as a reminder of the high ideals and to inspire yourself and others to great deeds and virtuous acts.
Never will we have darkness in your hands.
These spurs are the gift of the earth.
Prince Hrothgar, you have a sword for Sir Godfrey.
I do, sir. Sir Godfrey, this is a sword. A sword, the weapon of a knight. The first edge cuts to the truth of the matter, for a knight must always seek truth. The second edge, administering the crown's justice, must only be used after the truth has been ascertained. For justice cannot be served without truth. The sheath tempers mercy, for crown and kingdom are ill served without compassion. Thus mercy protects truth and justice. Wear it and always be worthy.
Take from us this sword, which is a symbol of your prowess. And with this sword, strike down the rich that oppress the poor. And with this sword, punish the strong who punish the weak.
Know that your sword must ever be offered in the vindication of innocence and the defense of virtue. For a knight must always champion that which is good and true. Sir Gregor, would you speak of the cloak of a knight?
Yes, ma'am. A long time ago, in days of yore, etc., when Martin, the eve before his knighting, it was observed, because it was raining, that he gave up pieces of his cloak to help those in need, to cover them, to help them. we all realize that it never rains in the Southern Outlands, ever.
Don't say
I personally have observed this man give of himself to help others in their time of need. This symbol, beautiful as it is his to wear.
May you always remember the example set by St. Martin.
Sir Godfrey, we are pleased to accept your oath of fealty.
I ask to swear upon lightning, the sword of the King of the Outlands.
Bring forth lightning.
This day do I swear homage and fealty to my sovereign, Lord and Lord, this is Cecilia, my right of arms, King and Queen of these wondrous outlands, who will from this day forward be my liege lord and lady. I will serve you faithfully in all ways from this day forward. I shall defend the weak and humble. I shall make right triumph over injustice. These things do I swear by my Lord's own sword, by my belt, my chain, and the high ideals I hold as a knight of the outlands. So say I, Sir Godfrey von Zollern.
We do hear your oath and accept your fealty, and know that from this day forward you shall be our liege man. And we will honor your order and protect your rights as a knight, and defend the faith that you have placed in us, mighty with justice, tempered with mercy.
Sir Godfrey, let this be the first blow you receive as a knight of the Outlands.
Sir Godfrey, stand. And let this be the last blow that you receive unanswered.
Huzzah!
I'll hug you while we wait for the scroll. Maybe should hug you while we wait for the scroll.
Walric, by right of arms, king, and Cecilia, by grace and favor, queen, to all dukes, earls, viscounts, barons, knights, and all others to whom these presents shall come, greetings. Among other notable affairs of the realm, we consider it to be most important that it should be fortified by a fitting distribution of orders, dignitaries, and offices, supported by sound counsels, and defended by the forces of powerful men. We therefore, regarding with quiet mediation, these things by which the outlands may be adorned in the same kingdom more securely and becomingly defended against the attempts of enemies and adversaries, and our peace preserved inviolate among our subjects everywhere. And in considering how best to sustain the traditions and customs of our outlands, we have turned the regard of our attention to our beloved Lord Gottfried von Zollern, and willing that his person should be honored and elevated in estate, have advanced and admitted the said Gottfried von Zollern to the order of chivalry, and have preferred and created him as a knight of the Society of Creative Anachronisms. We have girt him with a sword to protect the meek, invested him with spurs to lead an example, and gorged him with a chain to bind him to the crown and fealty, as is meet, right, and proper. We now enjoin him to be subject to the duties of such a dignity, and to the honors appertaining, and further charge that he and our knights remember to keep and hold these obligations as befits their status thereof. To more easily support the burdens incumbent in such an estate, Sir Gottfried has granted a castle, borough, and manor in our fair barony of Alberon, with the park fair and other appurtenances to be held with the hindrance or impediments of us and our heirs forever. He shall provide to the kingdom a tithe of 1/5 of the timber harvested yearly, and the ward service of himself and all able-bodied men of the aforesaid. He should as well turn over to the crown or our heirs that profits gained from any wrecks of the sea that are found on said means. Also, the same Sir Godfrey shall forever have free warrant of all creatures in his demesnes lands aforesaid, save those lands to chase there, or to take anything without the license and will of the same Sir Godfrey. A forfeiture of 10 stags is levied on any and all such trespass. Done by our hands, our signs, manual, and royal seal this 27th day of September, AS 49, being the 2014th year of sovereignty of the Outlands, on the celebration of St. Vincent, Walric, King, Cecilia, Queen. The scroll is by Elise Poré-Dieu.
Good members of the chivalry, please take this great night from our court and celebrate!